Welcome to Wild Animal Wednesday. I'm Mrs. Laura.
And I'm Alexis.
And we are traveling all around the world learning about the amphibians and reptiles on 6 of the 7 continents. But why are we leaving one out?
Because the other one's Antarctica, and amphibians don't live there.
And neither do reptiles, do they?
Today we're going to travel to West Africa.
To the specific region of Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea.
To learn about the world's biggest frog, the
Goliath bullfrog.
Boom, boom, boom. And it is one amazing creature. Are you ready to hear some facts about the Goliath bullfrog?
Hi. The Goliath bullfrog is also known as the Goliath frog, and it's also the giant slippery frog. As you heard, they're the largest frogs in the world! They can be up to 7.5 pounds. That's almost as big as a baby. They can jump up to 10 feet. Think I could do that? No, but the bullfrog can.
And now on to my favorite part, the baby. The mommy Goliath frog will go to the riverbanks and near the waterfalls in the rainforest in Equatorial Guinea, which is in West Africa, and she'll lay thousands of these jelly-like eggs. In a few days, the babies will hatch, and they're turned into tadpoles, or they're also called pollywogs. The Goliath bullfrog pollywogs, or tadpoles, like all other amphibians, are born with gills to breathe underwater. Those Goliath frog pollywogs are picky eaters, and in fact, they'll only eat one particular plant that's found near the riverbanks and waterfalls in the rainforest in the Equatorial Guinea area. After about a year, they'll start growing both their front legs and their back legs. Soon that Goliath froglet will start to lose its tail. It'll shrink and shrink back until it pretty much looks like a regular frog. This whole process of the frog changing from the egg to the tadpole or pollywog to the froglet to the frog is called
Metamorphosis!
That's right, metamorphosis. Now that we've learned all about the Goliath bullfrog, let's draw this amazing creature. Another great book that featured the Goliath bullfrog was the Book of Frogs by Tim Halliday. This one's really cool because it actually shows you their actual size. And the Goliath frog is so big, it couldn't even fit on this page.
Let's draw the world's biggest frog.
All right, let's do it. So we're actually going to use this book. It's The Book of Frogs by Tim Halliday. And it's cool because it's actually a life-size guide to 600 different species around the world.
Whoa!
Here we have our Goliath frog. And because the Goliath frog is so big, it could only show its head. That's the actual size, because they actually can be anywhere from 6 to 13 inches, with the largest being a record of 14.5 inches. That's crazy when you think about it. So like this paper is 11 inches, 14.5 inches, and that's from the head to the bottom.
It's fin.
No, to the bottom. It's not counting the legs. Isn't that cool? That's pretty crazy. All right, so let's draw this giant Goliath frog.
Dun dun dun.
So we're gonna start off with, again, the shape. And one thing I noticed about all the different pictures of Goliath frogs that we saw, their snout is a little more pointed. Not overly pointed, but it does seem like it is a little more pointed. So we're gonna start with a little bit more of a pointed snout, a little bit kind of like Kermit the Frog. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Kermit the Frog. Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog. And then we'll draw bottom there. And in fact, you know what? I'm gonna make his mouth a little bit different. I don't quite like how that mouth was. So I'm gonna put the mouth down here a little bit. There we go. I like that better. Then we're gonna draw, they have very large, perfectly round eyes. And their eyes are something very interesting to color. Just a little bump on this side to show that eye. And then the circle. And then you can see it's got an interesting like diamond shape in the center. A very soft, wide diamond. Very much like Kermit the Frog eyes, but then they have this little golden layer around it. And it's almost this just sparkly hazel color eye. It's actually a very pretty eye. Then we're going to draw his back. And I'm going to try to draw him a little bit turned to the side a little bit because we want to show his underbelly, because his underbelly is quite a bright yellow. Now his legs are one of the big factors on the Goliath frog. The Goliath frog itself is a pretty big frog, but his legs are just huge. He's got these just giant legs. And in fact, the people that live in the Cameroon area love to eat the legs as well. And then we're going to draw, they actually have 4 toes. And then their back feet especially have huge webs. Like you barely see any of the toe actually sticking out from the web. And now the front toes, you will actually see them a little more pronounced. So now let's draw the front toe here. Or the front feet, I should say. And these you do see, they're a little more pronounced as far as seeing individual fingers. And the front legs aren't overly big like the back legs are. That seems like that's one of its interesting factors. So I'm just going to draw a line here to actually separate the green from the yellow. But then underneath the Goliath frog, he's all yellow. So that's one of the kind of cool features of our Goliath frog. Oh, and let's draw his little nostrils too. Because they are born with gills, but then they develop lungs when they're adults. Now let's color our Goliath frog. So one of the big things that's really interesting is this eye, how it's got that black soft diamond and this golden ring around it. And then the eye itself is like a hazily color. Now this Goliath bullfrog is actually quite dark. But with the pictures we saw, they range from anywhere from light green to dark green to almost like a brownish black color. So you can kind of choose which color you'd like. And another dominant feature is their yellow underbelly, which I'll show you. But first, let's start with that eye. I'm going to start with the center, which is just a black, soft diamond shape. Another interesting fact about the Goliath frog is that you would think, as it's such a big frog, it would have a huge throat, wouldn't you? When in fact, actually, they have no vocal sacs. So they make no sounds. They're just a silent giant. Now, this is one of the features here with that golden, just this beautiful golden lining right around the black center. So we're gonna line our center with the golden. I'm gonna make mine even a little bit thicker just so it really shows it off. And then the rest of the eye is very kind of speckly, like a hazel eye would be. Goliath frog. You can see how I used all sorts of different greens and browns to color the skin. I also outlined it in a darker brown color just to give it a little more oomph.
Here is my drawing of the Goliath bullfrog, and it is out at night on a rock, and I drew it eating a bat because they do eat bats. And on this side, I did all my facts.
Nice job, Alexis.
Thanks for drawing with us, everybody.
And we we'd like to share the books we used for today's video. Usually we like to use a lot more books from our local library, but there weren't a lot of resources on the Goliath bullfrogs. We got a few books about bullfrogs, but we found most of our Goliath frog information on the internet, like Wikipedia and other informational sources, as well as some YouTube videos, right? We had fun watching some YouTube videos about the giant Goliath frog.
Dun dun dun!
Now, what books did we use though from the library?
We used Bullfrog Books by Martha E.H. Rustin.
And we also used this adorable Water Frog Polywogs book by Dawn Blumo Oldfield. It's a whole series of water babies books, which is super cute. We also used Alexis' science book from her Abeka 3rd grade curriculum called Exploring God's World to show the life cycle, the metamorphosis of the frog. What did you draw in today?
My animal notebook.
Which is also part of the Abeka 3rd grade curriculum. We're so glad that you joined us today to learn about the giant Goliath frog and
Dun dun dun!
and to draw with us. We hope you'll join us again as we explore more amphibians and reptiles on the other continents of our amazing world. Bye, everybody!
Fact 1. All amphibians breathe with gills in the water when they are born. Then, when they are an adult, they breathe with lungs on land. Fact 2. All amphibians have moist skin. Fact 3. All amphibians lay eggs. Fact 4. All amphibians are cold-blooded.
Everybody, I'm Mrs. Laura. Oh, I
And-
forgot to say welcome to Wild
Yeah,
Animals. Okay, smile. And we are visiting all 6 continents, which is not really all 6. And we are visiting 6 different continents all around the world, learning. No, I don't like that either.
Buddy, I'm Chloe.
Oh no, I got.
They can weigh up to 7.5 pounds. That's bigger than a newborn baby.